Hello, and welcome back to Let's Play Sekiro. We have some skills now we can look at, some points as well. What I got from Tengu for killing the rats last episode is the Ashina text. This teaches you the Ashina skills. They are really, really good. The two carp ones just make deflection better overall. They're really useful for dealing with enemies straight up. That skill I just got, I believe it's pronounced Ichimonji or Ikimonji. I'm not entirely sure. I run into the problem where I often read names, I don't hear them. I just in general run into this problem because I read so much. But this is what it is. It's a sort of like delayed overhead strike. When you do it, you regain posture, and it does a good deal of posture damage.
Somewhere around here. I heard the same, but lately it feels like an everyday occurrence.
I know. Goes to show just how soon the battle will be upon us. Even more the reason to take these reports seriously.
So something is going on. You may have noticed around Gyobu there's lots of enemies wearing red armor that are dead around him, and he's guarding the gate. Ashina is dealing with a sort of invasion. They have some enemy we haven't really interacted with yet. This is a part of why everything that's going on is going on. You may notice something from looking at this area that this is the prologue of the game. This is Ashina Reservoir. This is a spot you can entirely do in stealth. I think it's kind of neat in that regard. A lot of areas you can do very stealthy. I think this one just is really intuitive and works well. And it especially works well because it's a place you partially stealthed through before. Now you're getting to see it again with a new enemy layout. You have more abilities now. Over there is the well that you started the game in, but we're not going to be going to that spot just yet. You can go through these floorboards again, and over here is a gunner in the grass. You kind of want to take out enemies in a specific pattern. If you start to fight this guy here, that spearman down there will see you. If you follow this pattern I'm doing right here, you'll be able to do it unseen. The biggest difficulty are those Taro troops right there, because they keep patrolling and circling. Every now and then they'll be looking at this area so they can spot you. You can counter this by just waiting every now and then. Their patrol should be set up so that they're not looking 100% of the time over here. They kind of alternate, and then whenever they're both shifting usually, it's set up so that one will be looking over here and one the other way, but there's kind of a gap where neither of them will be looking over here. The other one is also much further away. In here is an important item. We heard the guy talking about this with the gate key and putting armor on a Taro troop member. This is a sort of little weapons warehouse. Here we are going to be getting a new prosthetic tool, Gyobu's Broken Horn. I'll show it off later, but it is a spear. You want to use it as a two-part attack. You first do a thrust with it and hit the enemy. Then press the button again to use your prosthetic tool. And when you pull it back, you'll remove the enemy's armor, or a portion of the armor. Some enemies have multiple parts in multiple stages of armor, so you'll only remove one part at a time. Now I do make a little bit of a mistake here. I could have timed that a bit better, but I've thinned out the enemy so much all I have to deal with is this one guy. I believe the weapon he's wielding is a Kanobo. It's a sort of like Japanese club. Usually they were made of wood, but then had metal like studs. This sort of weapon wasn't as necessary in Japan. In Europe, armor that required maces and clubs was much more common. Japanese armor more often had to deal with things like arrows, and had to deal with cuts. Depending on the time period in the world and where something is, there are going to be different demands militarily. It's not that Japanese people couldn't figure out armor at all. They had different resources available and were dealing with different things. Here is Seven Spears. Seven Spears is a mini-boss a lot of people struggle with. I struggled with him my first time. I had a sort of weird thing going on with him. I don't know if it was a bug or what. The purpose for what I showed before was so that you can understand, if you want, you can get a stealth death blow on him. It is a free health bar on him. I'm going to fight him straight up so I can show more of the fight. I don't besmirch anyone for stealth death blowing a boss. I don't really care. That's fine. Kill the boss how you want to kill the boss. Whatever suits you best. If you don't like fighting a boss, kill them however. It's your prerogative, your game. He is mostly simple. He's a spear user, he has big reach, he has big sweeps, but here is a big difference. When you Mikiri counter him, he can react to it. He has two reactions. He will either step back, or he will hold you for a second after you've done the Mikiri counter, and then he'll try to hit you. When he does this, you can just deflect it. This is an example of it. The timing is almost so that if you immediately try to block at all, it will deflect. Otherwise, he's pretty standard. Jump over sweeps, Mikiri counter thrusts. His other attacks can all be parried. You're going to be blocked. Don't try to Mikiri too early. You may get hit after the windup or before the windup. You just kind of want to stay cool. When he does that big swing where he spins it overhead and then attacks, you can hit him a couple times before the swing comes. He doesn't deal a ton of posture damage or have a ton of posture himself. You kind of want to just lower his health a little bit, and then that'll allow his posture to be broken. Right there, I got the hit in before. And that is 7 Ashina Spears. His name may be a bit confusing because he only had one spear. But that's because he is one of 7 Ashina Spears.
Wolf, you said to me once, do what must be done, but I have yet to discover what it is that I must do. I don't understand. Why was I granted this power?
I'm very sorry. Kuro's voice actor in English is not very good. I don't know if it's really a child or not. I'll just think. Could be a child. In general, I don't want to make fun of them. I have no idea who these voice actors are, what they were paid, etc. How good a directing they got. What material they were dealing with. Some of the translation is just not very good. I can't entirely say, oh, well, it's just a terrible localization. Everyone's screwed up. It's usually minor problems that just become big inconsistencies. One of the biggest ones is there are characters that will have their last name and first name switched in English, which is not good, while other characters aren't switched.
It truly stirs my soul. Beautiful, and yet somehow sad. As if it yearns, it calls for someone.
Hey.
Who are you calling for? Let me hear it one more time.
Hey, you.
What? Oh, my name is Jinzaimon Kumano. My duty is to patrol the moat. I've not seen you around before. Which clan are you?
I cannot say.
You cannot say, you say? So you are a shinobi, then?
I cannot say.
Your manners could use some work. No matter. If you are a shinobi, I won't press any further. Shinobi, have you ever heard someone playing the shamisen around here? I followed the sound and it led me to this well.
I have not.
Is that so? I thought since you're a shinobi you might know. I wonder who that melody calls to. I don't know why, but I can't stop thinking about it. No. It's nothing. Please forget I ever spoke of it.
And that's Samurai Guy. I like him, he's fun. He, for some reason, doesn't attack us. Is that a mini-boss? That looks like a mini-boss, but wait, I can talk to him.
He said I'd find a cowardly wolf here. No sign of him, though. A broken and incompetent shinobi living in disgrace. I hope to see such a man for myself, but seems I'm out of luck. And if he truly cannot die, I'm sure I'll run into him at some point. Oh, you. Are you the wolf he spoke of? You don't look all that cowardly. That matters not. They say you're immortal. Let's see if that's true.
This is Lone Shadow Swordsman. People have some problems with him at times. He is the purple ninja. That's this enemy type. This mini boss is going to be reused a bunch. He's going to be a normal enemy type. Just kind of got to accept it. I don't really mind. It's an okay enemy to fight. Kind of fun. I think it would be better if it wasn't used so much. You can often just use aggression, pressure him into attacking, and then deflect. His kick attack is actually a thrust. You may not think to try it the first time you fight him, but that is a thrust. You can Mikiri counter it. To talk a little moment about Mikiri, earlier I believe I mentioned, and in my guide I have it say you need to hold guard and press dodge to Mikiri. I learned that's actually not true. That's just how I've been doing it the whole time. You just need to press dodge. To my understanding, the reason why I've been doing that is just it makes it work so much better. If you hold down guard, it makes you face your enemy just dead on. Otherwise you won't, and if you aren't, the Mikiri counter will fail. Standing still is still required. You can be moving towards the enemy, but you can't be moving backwards or to the sides, or the Mikiri counter just won't happen. Dodge instead. For these guys, if they're doing their little kicks like this, you can deflect each one, you can just dodge away. For their jump up overhead slam, you can dodge it, and then afterwards they'll always do a sweep as far as I know. They might every now and then do something different. They'll also throw kunai like that, but they're not really a threat. You can pretty easily deflect them. This is also how that attack works. It's decent. I was trying to lead him into it, but I failed. You can hit them out of the sweep on the ground. You can also just jump kick on the sweep. It'll stagger them pretty well. That is Lone Shadow Swordsman, though, in the well where you started the game. Mini bosses usually drop prayer beads, so it's a good idea to fight them, even the hard ones. You'll just get more health and posture over time doing so. So I recommend it. This is a spooky place. This is the abandoned dungeon. There are two abandoned dungeons, basically. They're called the same thing and are technically the same zone. They're kind of in similar geographically. They're in similar locations, but they're technically two different zones. And they're incredibly small zones. Like, up to this idol right here, this is almost the entirety of this part of the abandoned dungeon. Though, you know, I did kind of look at this wall the whole time. Wonder what's the other way? Oh. Yeah, we're not going to fight that yet. Yeah, don't fight that yet.
It's faint, but yes, I can hear it. As if it is calling out for someone. Crying. Perhaps it is calling to me.
Hey,
Every now and then, yes, I can hear it. Give me a sign. Is it me you're calling to?
what's wrong?
If it isn't the shinobi, following the sound brought me here. Can you hear it? It's faint, carried by the wind. It's coming from this hole. You hear it, do you not?
I hear nothing.
I see. Perhaps I alone can hear it. Nothing else matters. I must follow that melody. That melody calls to me. At least, I believe it does.
Will you be cast out? Or throw yourself in?
What?
If you wish to go to the very depths of Ashina, then you'd best cast yourself out. Over there. The depths of Ashina are over there. Will you be cast?
What?
Then you'd over there. The depths of Ashina are over there.
Huh. That's weird. You may have noticed this is a religious site. There's a Shinto gate above us. That usually means like, I believe this would mean like a gate to the underworld. This is gonna mess with me. This is, I don't like heights in games. It really messes with me. Doing this always bothers me. You gotta jump down here and then grapple. There actually are a few platforms down here. You can miss this one and get another one. I believe they're just like some minor items you can get. You can see them down there. I might go and show them later if I remember. But I don't remember them being important at all. More Fistful of Ash. I don't use that item, but it actually is very useful. You can use it to distract bosses. It'll just stun them for a bit. You throw it in their eyes. So, yeah, that's just straight up a zombie. Also, while recording the audio over this footage, I'm getting a weird texture bug in the background with the lighting. I don't know if it'll show up in recording, we'll see. I just wanted to show here, this is something I did not discover myself. I had tried it on earlier things, but I couldn't get it working. I didn't understand. I figured out why it wasn't working. Here, I'm going to show it. If you button mash, though, you can get out of multi-hit grabs earlier and take less damage. So a lot of earlier grabs do one big hit, so it won't work. This guy slowly chews on you, so it will work. I have to credit Illusory Wall for that. I thought grabs you couldn't do that before. So these guys come back a single time. You have to kill them twice. My new Dark Souls Sekiro crossover, zombies die twice. There is a bit going on with these guys. They're a sort of experiment. They're not really immortal, though. Pacifying agent. That is something that when you use it, it reduces your terror buildup, so that you won't instantly die from terror. Very handy. Though, at a point, it becomes useless because you just get a better infinite version of it. Second prayer necklace, now we have more health and posture. Very, very handy. So, welcome to Blighttown. These are the poison pools of Ashina Depths. It's full of enemies that are snipers. You can see them with their rifles and cannons, and there's the mini-boss of the poison area. You may be worried if you're playing Sekiro and see this and go, well, time to return Sekiro. It's actually pretty easy. That mini-boss is the hardest part. The poison is almost negligible because you can jump.
I'm glad you've come, Master Wolf. This power, it comes from Lord Kuros. It's said to be a power of the Divine Heir's dragon heritage. Those who have been given the power of resurrection. They are revived upon death, repeatedly. Let me know if you notice any more changes. I don't think the power of resurrection comes without a cost. Goodbye.
You need something? Another time, then. I'll lend you shelter anytime.
Yeah. The English voices are weird. Sculptor is basically a different character. See you next time.